How's it going, guys? Well, welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Steins Gate, my darling's embrace. And we're in the route, the one I've been really looking forward to, the Faris route. Because gotta be honest, I love my Faris. She's great, and I'm really interested to see because like we're doing capitalism. We're gonna be focusing a lot on the May Queen getting muscled out by 4 degrees Celsius, my favorite character, who is muscling in on her turf. So we're going to be trying to figure out how to save her business, and that's exciting. And especially because now like we're having the main characters discovering just how influential, rich, and powerful Faris actually is. Because remember, she keeps all that secret from her friends, which is really, I think it's kind of cool. I understand, like, it must have been really frustrating to not be able to be like all of yourself with your friends, but that's kind of what the May Queen was. It's her place to just be kind of like more free and detached from all the stress of normal life. And to know that like she's going to kind of be opening up to them about this is really good, but I can totally get why she wasn't opening up to them, because it's a challenging thing, and it's like you don't want people to skew the way they see you because of that. But I think like, but having money changes the way people treat you. It's just like it's a natural thing. Not that I know too much about it personally, but I do have some close friends and people who I've gotten to know who are very, very, very wealthy. And they talk about how like it's really weird because it's like while so many other concerns just drop off the map, like you don't have to worry about where your meals are coming from, you don't have to worry about paying your rent, you don't have to worry about like any of that kind of stuff. And whilst they'd never say their lives are like, you know, hard per se, but the challenges that come because of the money can be daunting as well. I mean, go listen to some of your favorite YouTubers, like the big ones, like Jacksepticeye's talked about this, Markiplier, PewDiePie, but then other ones that aren't gamers too, like I'm trying to think, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but inevitably anyone who's got like enough subscribers to be doing YouTube full time seems to come back with the stories of like how hard it is to just be friends with people, because you don't know if they like you because they're fans or if they're just like smooching over for money. And like, or like another example is like people win the lottery. Like people go really, but like go crazy around people. So like if you win the lottery, like a big lottery, like your family can disintegrate. Not like your close family usually, but like people for some reason, if you become lucky or become like rich, like it changes the way people see you, and it for some reason stokes this kind of entitlement where they want you to like fix all their problems, and if you don't, you're the bad person. I don't know. I think it's good, and it's weird to say this, but my wife and I talked about if we ever came into large sums of money, what would we do with it, and like how would we proceed, and like we have all these things we would want to do that are good, but it's like I also like I kind of convinced her by going over these stories, being like, look, if we ever came into a large sum of money, we don't tell anybody. Like we do kind things and we make things happen, but we do it anonymously and we never let anyone know, because I don't want that to change the way people see us. Granted, that's never gonna happen, but it's one of those things to consider. So anyway, wow, I'm already ranting and we haven't even started yet, but we'll get to it. So yeah, other than that, there's really not much else to say. I've done the review, so like let's jump right into it. So here we are at the big tower. We can't contain our excitement as we look up at the super high-class, high-rise apartment building next to UPX. Oh yeah. Man, so it's like everybody. So we got all the lab members here. Sweet. Yeah. Mocha, she's quiet. Okay, come on.
まゆりもここに来るのは初めてなのか？
フェリスちゃんがお店のオーナーさんなのは知ってたけど、それ以外は謎なんだよ。
Yeah.
そうか。
Everyone's just like, holy crap. Not only does she operate a maid cafe, but she also lives in a place like this? Who exactly are you, Faris Nyan Nyan? Anyway, I'm sure you're probably wondering why all of us lab members are standing here, staring awestruck at the apartment building. Interesting game, you breaking the fourth wall and actually talking to the reader here. This is interesting indeed. Since the place was lacking for customers anyway, Faris decided to close up shop with May Queen Nyan Nyan and hold a roundtable conference at her place. Her reasoning? Since everyone is going out of their way to help, I'd like to treat you all to a good meal, Nyan. Aw, but we never imagined we'd end up here. I feel terribly out of place given the way I'm dressed. Is it really okay for people like Daru and I to be here? The thought crossed in my mind, but I quickly move on. There's no point standing here dumbfounded. I press the intercom button. I like how he doesn't have any worries about the girls. They all, like, they're fine. They look great. But he and Daru, he's like, well, we're like the scruffiest of, like, bums, apparently. Ah, yes, I remember you. I reflexively tense up. The speaker on the other end of the intercom sounds like quite the dandy gentleman. After stating my name and business, the auto lock on the door opens, allowing us to enter the elevator hall. Like a lot of these places will have a buzz in, and they have, like, if you're on the top floor, like you have the penthouse, you also have to give permission or have a key card just to get the elevator to unlock to let you on the higher levels. The hall floor is covered in soft carpeting, and the entire area has been polished to an incredible shine. Not even a speck of dust in sight. This seems more like a high-class hotel than an apartment building. Undoubtedly, we all feel incredibly out of place, but nonetheless pile into the elevator. Oh, hello.
Hi?
Thanks. As we enter Faris's home, we're greeted by an older gentleman in an extremely classy suit.
どうもこんにちは。お邪魔します。
Yeah, like really, like this is one of those times where it's like, I'm not gonna forget taking off my shoes in this place. The gentleman leads us into the living room, and we nervously take seats on the couch. Wait a minute. So in Japan, if anyone lives there, like I'd love to know this. Like for instance, I know you're supposed to take off your shoes when you go into a building like a hospital or even some businesses. I would assume, obviously, like apartments as well. But for big houses like that, and maybe a big building like this, would you take off your shoes at the entrance of the lobby? Or would that be something you did at the apartment? I imagine with most pedestrian apartments, like you would just do it at the apartment. But in a big, like controlled interior building like this, would they operate more on like the higher end of that? And like again, like do hospitals and businesses, like do they have like a shoe trade-in system at the front desk, or how does that even work? It's a really interesting idea. I don't know. It's one of those traditions where, like, I'm sure it's like goes way over the top to the point of like being a little like ridiculous, but it's absolutely, sorry microphone, I just smacked it. It's absolutely something that I'm kind of an approval of, and it's something I've tried implementing in my home because it helps keep the house cleaner. You know, make sure you take your shoes off at the door. Granted, we're definitely not as you know, strict as would likely be acceptable in a traditional like Japanese setting, but I mean, I get why they do it, and I grew up without that. I always wore my shoes in the house growing up, but now I'm like, why would you do that? That's such a terrible idea. How many square meters wide is this living room? It's huge, and the ceiling's so high up too. And man, that view of Akihabara through the huge window up front is amazing. Yeah.
これは法王院教魔の居城にふさわしいな。
Oh, Okabe, calm down.
今お嬢様を呼んでまいります。しばらくお待ちください。
Oh, thank you, sir.
はい、よろしくお願いします。
He sounds so, he's like, yes, thank you. He's like, it almost sounds like a minion. I reply with a polite nod, and an elderly gentleman leaves the living room with a gentle smile. Dang it, I was totally ready to go into a dramatic monologue, and now it's all ruined.
今のってもしかしてバトラーかしら。
I mean, yes, I probably.
バトラー？誰かと戦うの？強いの？
Wait, fight against? I think you've been watching too much anime.
そっちのバトラーじゃないぞ、マユリ。
個人的にはメイドさんの方が良かったを。
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
メイドカフェで散々見てるでしょあんた。
メイドカフェのメイドさんとリアルメイドさんは別だよ。そんなこともわからないのマキセ氏。
I mean, to be fair, yeah, but I mean, it's,
わかるか。
As the two quietly argue, the door opens and a familiar cat girl enters.
みんないらっしゃいだにゃ。
Yay, Faris! Faris is wearing her casual clothes, but for some reason she's still got her cat ears on.
ああ、大勢で押しかけてすまないな。
フェリスがご招待したんだからにゃ。
Faris stands in front of us and deeply bows her head.
みんな、どうもありがとう。いいのよフェリスさん。
事情は岡部から聞いたわ。私今回みたいなことってすっごく許せないから。
I agree. 4 degrees Celsius, you suck.
僕もです。やり方がずるいっていうか。
フェアじゃないね。
金に物を言わせて人気メイドさんを囲い込むってどんだけルール違反だよって感じ。
それは絶対にやっちゃいけないことだと思うにゃ。
Absolutely, he has. Like, again, like, it's very monopolizing, like, aggressive business tactics. And like I said, I don't know about the law in Japan, but in America, there are, like, legal protections you can take against this. Very, like, limited. And if he had enough money, he could probably fight his way out of them. But, like, there is precedent to be, like, this is too aggressive. It's like smear campaigning and the bullying of employees and encouraging them to leave. That's very illegal. Like, there would be a lot of cases to be able to be made here. But it also is all civil court, which can take a long time, and a business might not survive to the end of the proceedings. So even if we were in America, and even if we had the ability and the funds, which Faris could provide to challenge in court, we would still need to do something actionable until we could figure out a proper solution. Considering the apartment she lives in and the fact that she has a butler, I imagine Faris has a small fortune. Small fortune. Which means that she could utilize the same tactics as 4 degrees Celsius if she wanted to. She could easily attract customers back to May Queen Nyan Nyan. But Faris is resolute.
それをやってしまったら、この町はいつかめちゃくちゃになってしまうにゃ。
Ah, that's good. So she's taking the principled route. She's saying, like, look, I am not going to sink to the level of that scum and skullduggery to be able to save my business. Like, business should be able to thrive in a manner that upholds the atmosphere of what Akihabara is, what it should be, and how it should be, like, treated and approached, which is, I think, a very healthy attitude. It sucks because, like, again, the backstabby and, like, super hyper aggressive tactics work, which is why they happen so often. But, like, it sucks because you don't want your businesses being like that. You want your business, like Faris said, being like business of passion, somebody who's providing a good service in a good way that makes it worth your money, so that they can, like, continue to provide said services.
お金さえあれば、みんなの楽しみも夢も優しさも情熱も全てを踏みにじれてしまうような嫌な街に。
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would say it's a naive way to think, but, like, how can you not still want to commend it and support it, you know?
フェイリスはそんな秋葉は絶対に見たくないにゃ。
Yeah, we all feel the same way.
取材してもいい？
Oh, sweet, that would be cool. Moak asks Faris. It seems the current maid cafe issue is something of a popular topic on the editorial company where Mooka works. If all goes well, the story could end up getting featured in a magazine, or at least that's what Mooka believes. I mean, that would be helpful, but we have yet to actually see Mooka write anything, so...
マスコミを味方につけられれば
Ooh.
オペレーションフレイヤの遂行に弾みがつくな。
I like how it's playing the bumping music right now.
いくらでも協力するにゃ。どんなことでも聞いてほしいにゃ。
Oh, that's a dangerous way to say it, but I agree. Let's go, Faris.
ただ、一つだけお願いがあるのにゃ。
Sure, what's up?
フェイリスがオーナーだってことは秘密にしてほしいにゃ。
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
フェイリスはあくまでも一人のメイドさんとしてお客さんたちと接したいのにゃ。だから、
秘密にする。
Interesting, but hey, that works. Go, Mooka, go!
シドにも気づかれていないんだよな。フェイリスの正体は。
Oh, he wouldn't. I don't think he'd dare threaten her so openly if he knew exactly who she was, who she represented, and the amount of... Well, she could throw quite a lot in his face if she really wanted to.
今のところ大丈夫だと思うにゃ。
I suppose if he knew who she was, he wouldn't have been trying to scout her.
よし。それじゃあ視圧師はその線で進めてくれ。
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned that, like, it was odd, like, because he was definitely trying to appeal to her financially, which would work for most high school girls, but Faris has no need for that.
分かった。
問題はどうやって客を呼び戻すかだが。
Well, I mean, I know where we would probably end up going, so let's see if I can guess this right. I'm guessing that we're about to see everybody in maid costumes, because that would be freaking awesome. And to be fair, I mean, come on. You've got like, not only do you have Faris and Mayuri, who are always fantastic, but like, could you imagine Kurisu, Lukako, Moeka, Suzuha, all as maids? Like, holy crap. It's gonna be one of those things, right? One of those like awakenings for a lot of us, right? Like, we're just like, just cafes, and we're gonna see this, and we'll be like, okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
あのさ、月並みなアイデアだけどいい？
Yeah, what's up, Kurisu? Kurisu raises her hand.
なんだ言ってみろ。アイディアに月並みも何もない。
うん。やっぱり1にも2にもまず宣伝だと思うのよね。例えばお店のプロモーションビデオを作ってネット配信したらどうかしら。
That's actually not a bad idea. I mean, in 2010, 2011, it'd be a little trickier than like what would be today. Like, obviously today it's super, the framework's all there, but it would be a little more difficult. Like, your scope and range of audience would probably be limited. But the thing is, the audience of people who are active on the internet watching videos, aka mostly younger generations, are also likely to be your clientele. So it works out really, really well.
ふむ、PV か。なるほどな。
As long as you know what you're doing with directing and editing, like, you could really make a smash.
ミューツベとかニコニアにウップするって手もあるし、ありじゃね?
Yeah, MewTube, huh? So that's what this is. Like, hey, look at, we're all part of MewTube. So up is upload, and a popular video sharing website, MewTube. I like it. Actually, I think MewTube, I can't help but think of the Pokemon Mew, and MewTube just sounds hilariously adorable. But yes, welcome to MewTube.
ただ、俺たちは PV など作ったことないぞ。プロに頼むか？
I mean, we probably could do okay if we can get decent equipment. I don't know if Faris would want to hire somebody or not, but like, if we would go with somebody who we like know. Is there anybody we know who does maybe Mr. Braun? I mean, he does CRTs, but I could also see him like being knowledgeable about like video processing, just because a lot of formatting and like systems that would be working with CRTs, like VHS, and I can't remember what, like the tape decks, I think they were called, like whatever was before VHS. He probably knows about those, and probably spent a lot of his time growing up using video cameras, so he might actually know what he's doing.
それはしたくないにゃ。できればみんなで楽しく作った方がお店の雰囲気が伝わると思うにゃ。
Oh, well, I mean, passion can overcome budget and competence.
そうね。今回の場合、親近感を持ってもらうのが大事だと思う。
Aw, that's cute.
じゃあ、俺たちで撮ってみるか。
All right. Lukako timidly raises his hand in response.
もしよかったら、僕のお父さんが結構いいビデオカメラを持っているので、借りてきましょうか。
Interesting. I mean, we know he was kind of into like funky stuff a little bit, but it's interesting he has that. Like, oh, maybe it's a donation.
本当か？我が弟子よ。
はい。僕が生まれてから入学式とか卒業式とか何かあるたびに張り切って新しいのに買い替えてくるんですよ。
Oh, very nice. Huh, that sounds exactly like the sort of thing Lukako's doting father would do.
では、カメラはルカコの家から拝借するとしよう。あとは PV の内容だが。
Right. Sorry.
それならフェイリス、やってみたいことがあるにゃ。
I should apologize. I'm trying not to cough, and I'm probably trying to edit it out if I can, but like, I've been feeling kind of sick lately. As a matter of fact, I've been so ill these past couple days, I haven't been able to record. I just happen to feel a lot better right now, so I'm just getting it done while I have a chance. Because I'm gonna have some other disruptions going on too. So not only am I like, and by the way, it's nothing serious. Like, been tested and all that stuff. It's just I don't know, it's some kind of stomach bug. This has been taking a wallop out of me, but I am also getting I'm getting my computer checked out. I'm gonna be upgrading it like bit-wise over time. So like the first round of upgrades are likely to go in this week, and that means I won't have the computer for a few days, so I've got to figure out how to do all this like early. So like this is actually like I'm recording this much earlier than usual to make sure it's ready when the time comes. So yeah, hopefully by the time I actually am making the videos again, I will be feeling much better. But for now, please forgive me. I'm feeling gross. All right, what do you want, Faris? What do you say?
どんな？
まだ思いついたばっかりでまとまってないにゃ。次の会議までに考えてくるからそれでいいかにゃ。
I mean, fair.
そうね。メイクイーンのことはフェリスさんが一番よく知ってるわけだし、任せていいんじゃないかしら。
Yep, she also probably knows what would appeal most to her clientele.
よし、PV の内容はフェイリスに一任しよう。
頑張るにゃ。
Alright.
では次のアイデアを。
Yes, Mayuri.
前より聞かせてみろ。
実はね、ずっと前から考えてたんだ。動物さんカフェをやるのはどうかなって。
Animal cafe. That's not really the direction I thought.
動物さんカフェ？
Like, do you mean like having like cats running around that people can pet? That does sound cool. Like a cat cafe does sound like a very fun place to go.
何？メイクイーンの中に動物さんを放し飼いにするの。
Interesting.
ああ、猫カフェとかそういうやつね。
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
そう、それのもっとすごいやつを作るんだよ。猫ちゃんとかワンちゃんだけじゃなくってコアラさんとかペンギンさんとか。
Okay, okay, hold on. I'm not sure that's reasonable, especially because we don't know how they'd interact with each other.
ちょっと待て。猫や犬ならともかくコアラやペンギンは厳しいだろう。
Yeah, that'd be a little much.
だけどお客さんは来ると思うな。
She's got a point.
客より先にワシントン条約か何かで警察が来そうだが。
Oh, the Washington Convention? What's that? The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, also referred to as CITES. It is a multilateral treaty aimed at protecting endangered plants and animals. Transportation of animals like Humboldt or African penguins has strict limits, though as long as it's for educational or research purposes, it's allowed under this treaty. In the past, the Japanese TV program came under fire for violating the treaty when the people behind it brought orangutans and chimpanzees for the show. Additionally, koalas are not currently listed in the treaty. That said, they are on the IUCN's red list as a vulnerable species. Buying and hunting them is strictly limited under Australian law. Gotcha. That makes sense.
ちなみにペンギンというのは一部でウホの象徴になってるらしいよ。
Cool. Why? Isn't that all birds?
そんな豆知識はいらん。
I agree.
ダメかな。
Well, I mean, Mayuri, it's not a bad idea, especially with the cat theme. Like, we might really make the cat theme work.
猫や犬にしても普段はどこで飼うんだ。世話をするのは大変だぞ。
そっか。
Yeah, there's a lot of logistics that would be involved.
だったらね、動物さんの着ぐるみはどう？
Okay, much more reasonable. But yeah, running an animal cafe, like, it sounds great in principle, but like, there's like, in order, you need to make sure that like you'd be able to guarantee the safety of your patrons and the cats, and like, so like, it's gonna be like lots of restrictions, and like people probably have to sign waivers when they come in and stuff. I don't know. Like, I'm not entirely sure what's involved in all of that, but like, it would definitely be quite an endeavor. But I mean, they exist. It sounds really cool.
着ぐるみ？
Oh boy.
マイルシーが作るよ、ペンギンさん。
Oh, that sounds adorable.
にゃー、それは可愛いかもしれないにゃ。
んで、誰がその着ぐるみに入るんだ？
Oh, Okabe. Don't you know? You and Daru. Everyone points directly at me. Of course he does.
却下だ。
No, Okabe, you said you were gonna help. Come on, man. You gotta help. You gotta do it. You agreed, didn't you? Your honor's on the line, sir. Good sir, Yoda Kyoba would never back down from a fight, even if that fight was in a penguin suit.
次、何かアイデアがあるものを。
As I look around, Suzuha quickly raises her hand.
あのさ、サバイバルカフェはどうかな。
That does sound like what you would say. I was about to say, like, what on earth is she gonna pull out of her hat? But that one sounds hilarious.
というと、もしかしてサバゲーとメイドカフェのコラボか？
Survival game, and I saw a tip that said airsoft. Yes, a muck battle using airsoft guns, primarily played outside in the mountains. Participants generally wear camouflage. Again, airsoft coming up again. I'm guessing airsoft is just a really big, like, militaristic style recreation in Japan. Like, it just must be a lot more mainstream there than it is here.
無法メイドさんが銃持ってるとかありがちだけどいいんじゃね？絶対領域に川の食い込みホルスターは神すぐる。
I mean, he's a good litmus test for the people we're trying to attract. So, I mean, we can't just dismiss his really, really strange things, like, offhandedly. I mean, it does sound kind of fun, but, like, it also sounds a little scary. So, like, I don't know. There might be enough people that would be too intimidated to show up to make it not viable.
どうだフェイリス。
スペース的にサバゲーは無理だけどにゃ。でも店内の雰囲気をそれっぽくしてエアガンを用意するだけなら可能にゃ。
Air guns. Okay. Still potential for lots of messes, but decent.
エアガン？なんで？
Oh, we don't want people actually killing each other.
なんでって。お前が言ってるのはサバイバルゲームカフェだろ？
違う。サバイバル料理が出てくるカフェだよ。
Oh. Hmm. Well, a lot of survival dishes aren't known for tasting great.
サバイバル料理って一体どういう？
Like snake and like squirrel?
ね、公園の草を煮たり、線路脇の草を焼いたり。
Suzuha, I forget, where have you been sleeping? Doesn't she sleep in the park currently? Oh dear. Suzuha.
却下だ却下。
結構いけるよ。今度ごちそうしよっか。
力いっぱい遠慮させてもらおう。
I'd rather be a penguin.
美味しいのにな。
Come on, Okabe, you gotta admit, I'm already intrigued now. I'd be like, all right, look, I'll try it once, but like, I'm not gonna be like doing anything else that's really crazy. What kind of life do you live, part-time warrior?
他に何かないか？
ほい、そろそろ真打ちが発言するのだぜ。
Oh boy.
却下する。
Rejected!
いくらなんでもひどくね？
だってさ、橋田のアイデアってなんかエロそうなんだもん。
I mean, you could at least hear the beginnings of it, but I'm sure it won't work.
フェイリスやマユリにおかしなことはさせられんぞ。
Oh, that's fair.
エロくねえよ、させねえよ。人を何だと思ってるんだお？
Daru?
エロいだろ、させるだろ、変態だろ。
すいません。
Under Kudusu's sharp glare, Daru's big body curls up into a tiny ball. Oh.
まあ二人とも橋田至の意見も聞いてみようよ。そうだよ。
天音氏、まゆし。
橋田至だってさ、たまにはいいこと言うかもしれないし。
Hey.
そうだよ。
ぐはー、死ぬる。
今のは割と致命傷だな。
It did.
悪気がないって時に残酷よね。
It's true.
僕だっていつもエロいことばかり考えてるわけじゃないのに、涙で前が見えないよ。
Aww.
ほらダル、我が優秀なる右腕よ。発言を許可するぞ。
At my invitation, Daru begins muttering as he slowly stands back up.
みんな、日産業って知ってる？
Ah, yes, that is exactly what this channel is. Niche market is simply, we'll go to the proper definition, but it's simply highlighting a specific aspect of culture that might not be addressed like globally or globally in the term like broadly, focusing on a very small group. But if you're the only proprietor or one of the few proprietors of said group, it gets you a lot more attention and traction. So, plus sides, it's often easier to garner a captivated audience of engaged individuals who are more likely to return and become repeat patrons or repeat like visitors. Downside is it does put a cap on your expected growth potential. I.e., a good example is like my channel focusing so much on visual novels. Granted, I do dabble a little bit because other games I think are worthy of talking about because like the high characterization and story-driven content, but visual novels are king of character-driven story content, and that's what I love the most, so I wanted to make that content. So it's niche because it's a smaller audience. I don't compete with as many other channels as I say if I were a what do they call it? Like it's like the gamers that just switch game genres all the time. Like a good example is like some of my favorite channels, RT Games, Spiffing Brit, Many a True Nerd. Some of my probably like my idols, by like the ones I respect and I follow most closely in my personal life, and just I also kind of like want to learn from them because they understand like the YouTube space. But they jump from genre to genre, which means that they have no real niche. Well, maybe Spiffing Brett a bit because he breaks games, but ultimately there's no niche there, and so the audience is general. So it's a lot harder to gain like interest and like collect followers when you're so broad in your scope. But once you find that success, you find that like that grouping, the sky's the limit because they can just adapt and flow to whatever genre and not alienate their fan base. So niche market, a gap industry. The niche market is defined as an industry that aims to cater to enthusiasts rather than to a general public. Well, in terms of sheer numbers, it doesn't even come close to the mainstream market. The monopoly the niche market has on specific types of products almost guarantees profits. There's also no fear of getting caught up in the price war. Again, that's talking much more market strategy. Like I didn't pick visual novels because it's a niche market. Matter of fact, it's so niche, I don't know if it can be like a super successful channel, like ever. Like even if I were like incredibly successful, I don't know if I could ever be a Markiplier. And I don't want that anyway. I'm making content because I love to make it. I don't make it because I want to become rich. Like you should never start a YouTube channel assuming you're just going to make it. But maybe that's a loser's attitude to have. I don't care. That's my attitude. But he's going to highlight something possibly, well, I would say maid cafes are already a bit of a niche market, but in Akihabara, that's not the case because there's so many. If you open a maid cafe anywhere else in the world, especially outside Japan, you'd be super niche. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it could survive properly. Maybe in population centers where there might be a niche market big enough to float you by, but I just don't see it being that successful. Unless it were like one and dones at like conventions or something.
ああ、隙間産業のことね。
隙間産業？
Mm-hmm.
窓の隙間を直すお仕事かな。
Ironically, that actually kind of is the niche market, but not quite the one we're looking at.
それは建具屋だな。
Yes.
じゃあ歯の隙間を直す？
That'd be a dentist or
それ
orthodontist.
は歯医者だ。
要するに一般的じゃないマニアックなジャンルを狙った産業ってことよ。
Right.
例えばさ、ツンデレ妹萌え全盛期の今、あえてアメコミ調の筋肉マッチョなお姉さんしか登場しないアニメを作るとか。
Ironically, that's actually becoming rather successful.
そんな売れないものを作って大丈夫なの？
No, it'll sell.
いや、逆に考えてみるのだバイト選手よ。誰もやっていないジャンルなら客を独占できる。商売敵がいないのだから価格競争に巻き込まれることもない。
Exactly. Now again, my example of my channel is a very poor one because it's not like I'm a vacuum. There's a lot of channels that cover visual novels. Heck, there's a lot of dabblers that cover visual novels, like Game Grunts. They started Danganronpa not too long ago. They do all kinds of different genres. They're not genre specific, but they do visual novels and they do amazing with them. And Doki Doki Literature Club, it flew on radars of all kinds of channels and they all did smashingly well. So like it's not like I'm not a perfect example of a niche market. I just think it's a relatable one because granted you're here, the channel's small, but you know like we cover content here and I bet you're here because I'm covering content that you might be struggling to find that you enjoy other places just because there's just not as many of us. Like I only know of like a handful, and of those handful, like a few of them have actually stopped doing visual novels. You know, it's just not their cup of tea anymore or whatever, but like it's very much niche in a lot of the sense. But again, like it's not like there's a lot of competition at like my level, at least, for price competition, net value, monopolizing. Like it's just not really on that scope or radar yet.
おう、なるほど。そうだね。
ふむ、そういう路線を狙ったらどうかということだな。さすが我が右腕。いい着眼点だ。
So what would be a niche market in Akihabara? Because like Akihabara in itself, with the Moe centralized like setting, is very niche already. So what would you use a niche in a niche market?
却下しようとしたくせに。
Shush.
でもニッチって案外難しいのにゃ。あんまりマニアックすぎてもお客さんは来てくれないし。
Again, very true. If you're too niche, you'll never get anybody. And that's the thing. It's like there's a decent case to be made. I'm guessing most channel analysts would say that a visual novel niche is too small. But I don't care. Anyway, I like doing it because it's me, again. But it's good to look at this parallels with something I can relate to, which I think is helpful. But yeah, visual novels is just not something most people are looking for online. And even then, like when people do look for it, being somebody who can be findable is still challenging.
もちろんそれも検討済みだお。ニッチとメジャーのちょうど中間あたりで僕らに今すぐできそうなことって言うと
Well, yeah, but that's like, you make it sound so easy.
ズバリ男の子しかないっしょ。
You might have a point here, actually, especially if you blended it. So if you have maid girls and maid guys, or butlers, like maid and butler cafes, like would that count too? I'm guessing he's gonna be taking the route of making Lukako dressed as a maid, but like, and maybe Okabe. Oh my gosh, that would be great. But I mean, what would be better? What would be more marketable? Maid girls and maid guys, or maid girls and butlers? Yeah, everyone looks to Lukako. Almost as though he sensed incoming danger, Lukako hugs himself tightly.
なるほど、その手があったか。
This seems cruel after our last, like playing the Lukako line.
悪くないかも。
アンダーグラウンド誌で結構人気ある。
That makes sense.
メイド服は大きめサイズをマユシにちょっと直してもらえばいけそうだにゃ。
Bigger outfits. Lukako, she's not talking about Lukako right now, is she? Uh-oh.
はいやりまーす。
What's that?
皆さん何か変なこと考えてますよね。
Unfortunately, we are, Luka. Lukako seems desperate, tears forming in his eyes.
変なことではないぞ。我がパダワンよ。
Nice Star Wars reference. Fictional, used to describe a novice in the movie Spark Wars. Spark Wars.
兄弟で卑劣な帝国に打ち勝つため、今こそお前のフォースが必要なのだ。
I love it. It's not rare. It's pretty rare to see a Star Wars reference in a visual novel, and I love it.
僕のフォースって何ですか？
I don't want to know.
フォースか。それはな。
It's life. It's the energy between things. It surrounds us and binds us.
こんな可愛い子が女の子のはずがない。
Oh dear, oh dear. I like how it's Okabe, Dario, and Kurisu who are saying there's no way someone this cute can be a girl.
やっぱり
I knew it!
気に入らなければ俺の男友達がこんなに可愛いわけがないでもいいよ。
There you go.
どっちも嫌です。
Oh, Luka. Lukako suddenly jumps up from the sofa, shaking his head while backing away. I stand up as well, walking slowly toward him.
ルカ子よ。お前の気持ちは痛いほどわかる。だが、頼む。大切な友のため、一肌脱いで、そして一肌着てもらえないだろうか。
Oh man. I feel that this actually makes me feel legitimately bad.
誰がうまいこと言えと。
でも僕そんなメイド服なんて。
臆するなルカ子。戸惑いを捨て、新たなるステージに立つがいい。
We also might be able to do like the reverse too. What if we got a girl who dressed like a butler? Like, like there's like the side of like of making a girl who looks very masculine do that. But I think frankly, I'd be very taken with just a girl who's just like a butler. I think that would look very, very nice. Like, come on, think of Kurisu in a tux. Like, come on, how could that not be an exciting sight?
時代はお前を求めているのだ。輝けるニューカマーよ。
Oh man.
今のはオカマさんとカマをかけたのかにゃ。
Oh, shush, Faris, don't spoil it.
だから誰がうまいこと言えと。
そんなこと言われても無理なものは無理です。
It's not impossible. That nothing is impossible, young Padawan.
ならばこうしよう。そこにいるクリスティーナも着る。
Huh?
は
お前とクリスティーナ、メイド服を着て並んだらお前の方が圧倒的に美少女だ。俺が保証しよう。だから安心するがいい。
Oh, ouch.
あんた何言ってくれちゃってんの？
That was really mean.
図星を疲れて怒るのは後にしてくれ。今はルカ子を説得しているのだ。
あっちこっちにムカつきすぎてどこに切れていいんだかわからん。
Yeah, I agree. Like, holy crap, that was... And he's so wrong, too. Fetch, man. Like, you can't say that about Kurisu. You know it's not right. Like, she'd look adorable.
よく考えろ、上州よ。これは今回のオペレーションに必要なことなのだ。
だったらあんたが来なさい。
Yes, do it.
But?
But...
男の子でしょ？一緒にやってあげなさいよ。
Alright, Okabe, time to put up or shut up.
何をバカな。
No. No. Okabe, come on, man. You could ask a guy to do this. You have to be willing to do it. One should never require those around them to do what they would not be willing to do themselves.
わかりました。
Oh. Lukako mumbles out his decision while wiping away his tears.
京馬さんと一緒なら僕頑張れます。
This is going to be the greatest thing ever.
おいこら
Oh no! Now it's my turn to slowly back away.
XXL サイズのメイド服を特注しなきゃダメだにゃ。
Yeah, you probably will. Actually, you don't even need a super large one. You probably need a tall one.
名前はオカリンニャンニャンになるのかな。
Okabe Nyan Nyan.
ちょっと待て。
Oh no, you're signed to death nail here.
うは超ニッチ産業来たー。
Yeah, we are.
だろお前面白がるな。俺がそんなことしても気持ち悪いだけだろ。
If the girls really worked at you, I bet you wouldn't. And if you shaved properly.
これ以上ないってくらい気持ち悪い。
だったら反対しろ。
まあ綺麗どころはルカ氏がいるからいいんじゃね。色物ってことで一肌塗りなよ。
He's got a point.
色物だったら貴様がやれ。
いいよ。
He's like, okay.
あっさり OK しやがった。
むふふふ。こんなこともあろうかと。いつでもダルシーニャンニャンになる準備はできているのさ。
Darcy Nyan Nyan. Oh no. He's too prepared. Maybe we shouldn't let that happen.
なんだお。
変態だと思っていたが、そういう趣味もあったのか。
I know, right? He's thought about it.
引するわね。
Hey. Okay, on one hand, it is a little weird. But on the other hand, like, to be fair, it's the kind of thing I would do. Not because I would ever anticipate actually doing it, but I think things through very, very thoroughly. And so if the possibility were ever, like presented actually, I could try and picture it in my head, and I could potentially, like, entertain the idea without intentionally, like, wanting it to happen. I don't think this is working for me. I think I'm digging myself a little bit of a hole here. But, I mean, to be honest, if it were in this situation, if I were in their shoes, if I were in this group right now and I wanted to save Faris's May Queen, I would volunteer as tribute as well. And shave, probably.
くは 冷ややかな視線が気持ちいい。あ、じゃなくて、僕はメイクイーンのことを本気で心配してるんだお。
I mean, we don't doubt that.
ダルニャ、ありがとうにゃ。
フェイリスタン。
でもダルニャにそこまで恥ずかしい思いをさせることはできないにゃ。
Oh, wait. Why is he getting a pass?
そうだ、マヨシーのアイディアと組み合わせてダルニャ用の着ぐるみを作ってもらうのはどうかにゃ。その方が絶対に似合うと思うんだにゃ。
Alright, he would make an excellent penguin. Faris gently rejects the existence of Darcy Nyan Nyan. You know, she did it very tactfully.
うん、フェイリスタンがそう言うのなら。
Aww. Don't sound so disappointed, my right-hand man.
それじゃあマヨシーお願いするにゃ。かわいいの作るよ。
I'm sure you will.
あとね、せっかくだからスズニャンとモイニャンも一緒にメイドさんをやってみないかにゃ。
Oh, yes. I like where this is going.
私やめちゃった子たちの代わりにメイドさんを雇わなきゃいけないのにゃ。だったらフェイリスはラボのみんなと一緒に働きたいにゃ。
I mean, fair point.
ラボのみんなの中にはやっぱり私も入ってるの？
Yes, yes, you are. Kurisu, come on. We gotta pay the bills. Hey, we gotta get you in there.
俺は冗談だよな。
No, that was not a joke.
当然入ってるにゃ。
マジか
Magica!
もちろんちゃんとアルバイト料はお支払いするにゃ。どうかにゃ。
There we go, yes.
飲食店の接客は経験ないけどやってみようかな。
取材の合間ならいい。
Yeah.
決まりだにゃ。
Excellent. Faris gives a huge smile.
それじゃあ予定が空いてる人は明日から早速メイクインに来てほしいのにゃ。駅前でチラシ配りをするから手伝ってにゃ。
Oh, man.
デュオ。
Ooh. Oh, yes. Kurisu and Okabe united in just horror of what they've just done. The roundtable conference would continue on for a while longer, with ideas being bounced around for about 2 hours. While watching my friends exchange ideas to help Faris, my mind began to drift. I started thinking about how wonderful it is that all us lab members have come together to help Faris in Faris' time of need. I also come to the conclusion that I have to prevent the Okabe Nyan Nyan from being born in this world, no matter the cost. Oh, Okabe, it's not, you can't. You can't. It's gotta happen. It was prophesied.
Okabe, 自分だけ逃げんなよ。
Oh, that was creepy and right in my ear. It's like, yeah, yes, ma'am. Never would ever dream of that. Kurisu's glare burns a hole straight through my soul. Oh my gosh. I hate to do this to you, but we need to end it here. Because whatever we're gonna see when I next click the next few clicks and the next few buttons, I want us to be able to revel in it. Because at the very least, we're gonna have some very cute maid girls. And if we're lucky, we get maid Okabe. Because we gotta see that. But that's where we're gonna end for today. Not a whole lot happened today, but it set up something beautiful. It's gonna be great. Oh my gosh. Like, it's actually kind of funny because this week, the Mublove episode and this episode are both really awesome setup episodes because the Airsoft tournament's about to start in Mublove and the official mating of the May Queen is starting soon as well. So like, these next few weeks are gonna be some banger episodes. I can't wait to jump into them. But if I go much further, I'm not going to want to stop, but this is a good place to stop. So we had the round table conference. We have our plan. It's going to be spectacular. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this today. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. The fact that you're here and watching this is really the most important thing. And every single person who watches these, like, it means the world to me. Thank you so much. And thank you also again to the developers and people who make this game. It might be an offshoot. It might be just for kicks and giggles. But it's so much fun, and I'm really grateful they took the time to make it. I hope that we get to continue to explore these good stories, but then, you know, when the time comes, it will be time for us to move on to other titles. So I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking over the next few months about preparing for what the next session and stuff is going to be, because there's a lot of interesting stuff on the horizon in the visual novel world, and there's a lot of interesting stuff like on the docket that I want to cover, and figuring out how I want to approach those is really challenging. But for now, we will have to say it is ending here. Thank you to the patrons who are here. Of course, you've seen their names this whole time. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the channel and supporting it directly. Again, they are the ones with their support, we've been able to start enhancing the channel. I was able to get some more custom emojis, and I plan on getting more of them in the future. There are other little just bits and pieces, being able to enhance the Discord of the channel for the channel itself, being able to have hopefully more future perks and just fun things for us all to share and enjoy as a community. They are directly supporting that, so thank you to them specifically. Hopefully you see them chatting around on the Discord and get like this, you know, show them your love if you can. I certainly would love, I certainly do. And also keep in mind, all patrons, there will be a patron cast coming up in the next few weeks. Look forward to that. And if you have any questions you want me to answer directly during it, please make sure to put them in the appropriate section on the Discord page. But regardless of that, thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. It's always a pleasure having you here. It's a pleasure being able to share these stories with you. It's my dream and passion, and I love it. This channel is something I love being able to do. It makes so much happiness for me, and like helps me to be able to express myself and share something I'm passionate about, truly passionate about, and it is so wonderful that you guys are actually a part of it. So thank you. And until the next video, watching me up, see me next. I'll see you there.